Back to Luna
And the Druid.
and Karma, our producer. Yes, um, good to see you back again. Have you subscribed yet?
Yes. I don't know what to say. I'm
She doesn't
sorry.
know what to say. It never happens.
You can
This is
press
the
though.
first time in my life that you have nothing to say.
Hello and
Nicholas,
welcome.
hello. Welcome, everyone.
I can't believe it. You actually played press and showed it.
I just had to.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Hello and welcome to Luna and the Druid. Jan today decided to start with a blooper.
And of course, it was hilarious because indeed, and it never happens that the girl next to me doesn't know what to say.
That is so true. We were
Yes,
recording few things, and it turns
yeah,
out it's way harder to record something in front of the camera than go live. So
right.
what we were trying to do is record an intro, a welcoming back intro to our channel. However, I just had a blank moment in my mind, which, as Jan pointed out, never happens because I always have something to say. So if you haven't heard him at the very last thing, what he said, he was laughing so hard, was that never happened in my entire life, that this girl doesn't know what to say.
Yeah, yeah, and we had what a lovely day we had last Tuesday when we did this.
Yes.
Thank you for the warm welcome in your place and the good food, and of course the great crack, as we call it here in Ireland, the fun we had. And there's never nothing better than a good laugh, and especially uh, with regards to to the topic of today, overcoming adversity and finding your strength. Um, uh,
Yes.
yeah,
We're giving away the ways how to deal with it already by laughing.
yeah, of course. The big there's definitely a big a big lesson there that if you can laugh about your own misery, you're already a long way ahead. Yeah. So what's on today? So we have our main topic, overcoming adversity, finding your personal power there, and
And
then
yeah, we have a huge surprise, the big draw.
the big
Let's
draw.
do it.
Yeah, I have the names in the hat already.
Names in the jar.
We're
If
both
if you have subscribed but didn't put in the comments that you want to take part of this, please do now. You can leave it even here in the comments today, and we will put you in a jar just for the draw. So if you are subscribed, because our prize is not only for new subscribers, it's for our entire community here. So if you haven't done it yet, please do. We will keep an eye on that, and we're going to pull two lucky winners a little bit later.
yeah.
Just
So
want to give you some time to do this if you haven't already, and if you would like to take part in our draw to win the tarot reading.
yeah, and of course we saved the best for last, Luna, today
Mm,
because we'll definitely build in some time to pull a few cards with their meanings and give some
lovely,
inspiration.
lovely.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
A
so
great.
yes, we started a little bit unusual today, but let's get straight into our today's topic.
Yeah. Challenges, life's challenges, as also known as adversity,
Mm,
and how to deal with them. Maybe how to deal with them. What comes first is identifying it, or what types of adversity we have. Uh, shall we give it a go?
absolutely,
What types
absolutely.
do you have in mind?
Oh my goodness. First of all, I would like to point out that there are different types. It can be physical obstacles, it can be spiritual adversity, it can be health problems, it can be your economical situation. And those are the one on top of my mind, which come to me straight away. But what is really important for me as a holistic life coach is to always look at the problem from the deeper perspective as a whole, as a holistic. It's not just obstacles. It's not just only, for example, physical level. It always goes deeper.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, and there are a few others. There's for instance a very big one we encounter a lot, which is relationships.
That's so true.
All kinds of relationships, friendships, love relationships, self love, um,
Mm, that's a
and
big one.
from relationships you come to losses and grief,
Mm,
and from losses and griefs you come to your personal life, personal setbacks like getting losing your job or a bankruptcy or stuff like that, which ties into the financial situation, of course. And then we have the big issues in the world that can
mm,
affect you. Uh, Wars, global issues like the environment. We know from almost forgot that exactly 4 years ago we were going in lockdowns. It's already 4 years ago.
my goodness. My goodness. Time flies.
Time flies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And these were definitely things that touched a lot of people, uh, personally, mentally, physically. Sometimes from mental problems relates reacts in physical problems, and of course vice versa when you're encountering personal difficulties with your health or your physical things, it hurts you as well. Like I recently can talk about my own thing. In November, I went to the optician for my glasses. He measured my eyes. He says, "Oh, your eye pressure is extremely high." I said, "Okay, what's that?" He says, "It's glaucoma." I said, "Oh, I remember that. My dad had that, and he turned blind." Yep. So I went to the optician. To the He sent me to the specialist, to the eye doctor.
Mhm.
He said, "Okay, it's already started with you, and the damage has already been done, and it's irreversible. And you have to, for the rest of your life, take care of eye drops 3 times a day, and always be cautious that you do it in time and stuff." So that's a bit of a burden, but also you knowing that a part of your physique is permanently damaged. It I felt it. You know what I mean? I felt okay. Couldn't and then comes the idea: could I have been quicker to respond, or should I have paid more attention? You start to blame yourself, and then uh, fortunately I found out that I eat 3 times a day, and I can, after breakfast and before the evening meal, do the eye drops. That's two, and the other one just before going to bed. So I managed to see, okay, there is a rhythm. I can I can fit this into my life. There are moments that are fixed anyway. Let's tie them to them, and now we're 3 months later, and I'm fine with it.
Hmm. It's interesting what you shared, despite the fact that it might be really difficult, I can imagine. However, in this short story, you went through all the stages we find ourselves within facing adversity,
Yeah,
which is first of all feeling the feeling of fear, the whatever comes up. And this is super important to allow ourselves to feel that. Don't push it. Don't
definitely not.
pretend that it's not there. Feel it. Allow this to come to the surface and then adapt, accept the situation. Okay, what can I do? The damage has been done. There is nothing I can do to undo it. What can I do in order to help myself to perhaps have a less impact on the negative stuff going on? And obviously, you mentioned the most wonderful thing, which is guilt trip. We all do that. We
Yeah,
all do that in facing challenging situation. What could I be doing different? Oh, it's my fault because I didn't do this and that.
yeah,
It's a completely time wasted energy, in my opinion,
yeah,
because it won't change anything. It
yeah,
won't.
yeah. Now you're absolutely right in that. You know that the things that have been done cannot really be undone. They can, however, and which is one of the strongest emotions we have in life, they can be forgiven.
Yes.
And of course, like like we talked about spiritual love recently, uh, And now we can talk about self forgiveness and self love. Self love and self forgiving. Forgive yourself for the things you did.
Mm.
You didn't do them by on purpose. You did them because they sometimes jump on you, the things in life. And there can be many spiritual teachers say, yes, this is what you manifested, or this is what you've chosen. uh, and I sometimes say, oh, that's bullshit. Of course we manifest the good things, and the other things might just overcome to you. And is it really manifesting, or is there something else there? Is there something like a win, or a process you go through? Yeah.
Well, I'm actually a big believer that many negative, the things we perceive as negative, because there is no such a thing as good or bad, it's the way we perceive it. But I'm a believer that many times we actually manifest those things because of the limiting beliefs we have, because of the certain thoughts we keep feeding our mind and our energy field every day, every day. But of course, it's not always the case. Sometimes things just happen. And from the spiritual perspective and spiritual point of view, which I'm a big believer in, as a soul, we came here to experience not just happiness, not just positive emotions, not just laughter, but we came to experience everything, the entire palette of colors, the entire palette of emotions. And I always say that when we are back in the source, when we are back in heaven, flying as a beautiful free soul, we don't get to experience those negative experiences. We don't get to experience fear. We don't get to experience uncertainty. So
Mhm.
that's why we come on earth to experience those emotions as well. Life is not about being only happy. Life is about living it.
Yeah, yeah, that's the purpose of life, actually, is to live it. And you mentioned heaven. I have a personal other word for it, because I believe that if there's nothing after this, I don't believe that it is, but suppose we should have created heaven on earth. This is the place
Mm,
where we do that. And I say, after this life, we're not going to heaven, we're going home.
yeah,
That's why nobody comes back,
yeah. I
because they're
love
home. Yeah,
I love
yeah,
it. It's like
yeah.
some may call it heaven, some may call it source, some may call it God, some may call it home.
Yeah,
And I absolutely love calling it home
yeah,
because that's exactly what it is. We
yeah,
we
yeah.
we are one.
And there we
And
meet up with our higher selves, and also with the selves of the others we've shared this experience with.
mm,
Yeah.
yes.
So there's the big answer, that the big answer, that the purpose of life is to live. When we finish life, we're going home, and everything in between is part of the process, is part of the journey, is part of the adventure. I often say my life is a movie, and I'm probably not even the director of the movie, but I'm the main character. And in any good movie, the main character goes into all kinds of trouble, and the higher self, the one that signed me up for this, is watching. And then and when I'm in trouble, he says, "Bring in the popcorn and the coke," because Jan is in trouble again.
Yes. And we're
The
gonna
movie gets
look at
excited.
this full journey,
That's
how
the
he's
journey.
gonna overcome it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna overcome. He's gonna overcome the problems again, but he's challenging himself again, and that's the main thing. And if you can take this little distance from anything that happens to you, you turn it into to something a bit more lighter. That's the big lesson there. If you can look at yourself and say, "Okay, boy," or "Okay, girl," in your case, uh, this is part of my movie. I'm in the exciting part now, and we're waiting for the happy end.
Mm, yes.
It brings a bit of lightness. So there's a lot of wins that you can get out of adversity, about the problems. The most important one is, of course, the potential of transformation.
Mm, absolutely. Absolutely.
Talk about it.
Well, it's easy to say when we overcame something, and it's easy to talk about transformation, it's easy to talk about what we can gain from it, what can we learn. It's easier there. But when we are in the middle of the ice storm and when things are crumbling down around us, sometimes it's really, really hard to stand our own ground and have this other perspective, have this deeper way of looking at things.
Yeah.
Uh, and what then? How to deal with that when we feel that our chest, our heart is being just tormented with pain, for example?
Yeah.
What to do then?
Yeah, then you find the potential for growth. The first thing is, of course, is assess the situation. Is
Mhm.
there something I can do, or is it
Mhm.
something out of my control? And then find the wisdom to act accordingly. If it's something out of your control, it's like it's like sitting still when the storm hits.
Yeah.
And if it's something you can control, then your true power comes up. Then you can show your resilience and your strength by addressing the situation, solving the problem,
Mhm.
getting to it, and yeah, address it, and you come out of it a better person. You come out of it a transformed person. After every situation, after everything that hits you, you come out stronger. And that's where the saying, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger," comes from.
Yeah.
That's of course of you get stronger by overcoming the struggles in life, whatever they are.
Yeah. But how to overcome them? What to do? And just like Jan said, assess the situations. Is there something you have control over or not? My another step would be, and I mentioned that already, feel. Feel what is within you. Feel what kind of emotions arise to the surface and acknowledge them. Allow them to be. If it's an anger, express that anger, allow it to fully full go through you. You can, I don't know, punch a pillow, go for a ride in the car and just scream your lungs out. I know it's not possible for everyone to do it. I can
Mm.
go outside because I live in such a rural area, there is nobody
Yeah,
here, so I can scream all I want. But I know that
yeah,
not many people, not all the people can have that. But what I'm getting with this, if you feel like you need to cry, cry. It's There is
try your
nothing
hardest.
bad in expressing emotions. If you feel disappointed, ask yourself what makes you disappointed, why you feel like this. But it's really important, and I can't stress this enough. Feel your emotions, feel everything which comes up to the surface. And somebody can say, oh, what is this crazy woman talking about? I don't want to feel pain. Like, I've lost a beloved person. How can I allow myself to feel that if the pain is so massive? Well, that's when the problems can arise. Because if we're going to push something into our subconscious mind, and if we want look at that emotions, what's there, this can arise and this can manifest into many other problems and health
Yeah.
challenges, for example, because the emotions weren't dealt. Um,
Yeah, don't become a pressure vessel. A cooking pot, and press press the release button occasionally, and let go, and not letting go by pressing it away, but cry, like you said, cry, feel what it does to you, and acknowledge the feeling. And by acknowledging the feeling, or even expressing it with the different emotions, um, I always say, you create some space around it.
mm,
It becomes smaller, and there's space around it, and the more space comes around it, the smaller it seems to look, and until it dissolves.
yeah. Jan, Angie has asked a beautiful question. Thank you both of you. This is a great topic. What if you feel out of control of your own self? Like, you're seeing these things from a different point of view continuously. That's a good question. What if you feel out of control of your own self?
Yeah, Well, that's something you definitely need to acknowledge and need to recognize, because you there are situations that are so severe in your life that that like you the rational mind and even the emotional mind can't cope with them.
Mhm.
And most often, I would say, seek help. Uh, there are a lot of things you can do yourself, of course. Meditate on them, mindfulness, going in nature, nurturing yourself. I wouldn't necessarily say poison yourself, but occasionally uh, a few drinks can help. But that would probably push it forward. So most of the times, it's like, again, create some space around them. And if it's not possible to do this yourself, uh, go to a coach, go to, even you can go to your own doctor, to your MD, and find a recipe, or a, a psychologist, or even a shrink that can help you.
Mhm.
It's how it all depends on how deep this feeling goes. There's not a clear answer there, but it starts by acknowledging, by meditating, by getting out in nature, by by letting the wind blow through it. And if it lingers, yeah, get help.
Yeah.
Get
What
help.
I would add, and that's something I go through with every single client of mine, which come for me for coaching, breathe. We don't, we really underappreciate the power of breathing, because breathing can center us. There is a beautiful technique called boxing breathing, which is breathing in, like, counting to four, breathing out, counting to four, having pauses in between, counting to four. What it does, it helps your body to relax, because very often when we face a challenge, obstacle, emotion which is difficult, what usually first happens is the mind chatter. Blah, 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 blah. It's just everything in the mind. And it's really easy to let go of control of it. And oh boy, the mind can write such a scenarios and such stories which have nothing to do with reality. Breathing helps you to gain a little bit control over that. Second of all, when we feel that emotions are taking the best out of ourselves, again, express it, let it go, let it flow. And I mentioned here anger, I mentioned here disappointment, I mentioned here crying. You can also laugh as well. Laughing is a fantastic way of releasing the tension within ourselves, releasing many emotions. Um, and being with yourself in that moment of difficulties is very, very important. Accept that you're struggling with something. Accept the situation. Obviously, acceptance is not meaning, okay, it is what it is. I'm not going to change it. I won't do anything about it. It's not what acceptance is. Acceptance is acknowledging that the situation has come to your life like this and it's there. And when you accept things, then you can actually make another step and take appropriate action. It can be like, just like Jan said, it can be starting to meditate to calm the mind and get back into the present moment, into the presence within our spirit, within our body itself. um, and then take appropriate action. Is this either talking to someone, just like Jan said, or seeking professional help, or seeking help of a coach who can help you talk things through? The sky is the limit. However, the first thing is to address what made me lose control, what made me and what happened in order to push me into that
Yeah.
situation. Mhm.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right there. And of course, in light cases, it's actually the assessment, and and then take control over your life, take control over the situation. When you're in your car and you run a flat tire in the middle of nowhere, There's three things you can do. Well, the worst thing is get angry and and give your car a big kick a dent in the door as well. Make it worse, you know. And the other two things are: can I fix this myself? Am I smart enough to pull up the car, to take off the wheel and put on the spare? And if not, can I call someone to come and help me? You know, that's appropriate action. Getting angry, getting frustrated, getting sucked into the situation never leads to a good result.
Mm, that is so true.
Yeah,
That is so true.
and
Um, go for it.
yeah, and that's what you always should remember. Uh, I learned from my mother when I was young. I could get quite easily angered, and she taught me to count to 10. Count to 10 before you get angry. And actually doing it, you know, you count to 10, you're taking your mind off the situation, like breathing with counting, and we're just counting to 10 before you get angry. Catch yourself, catch your anger, and do something about it. That's that's the first step into fixing the situation.
Mhm. Angie says, thank you. It's deep. I've been doing a lot of work and had a lot of loss. I lost the ability to cope with so much. It's like I'm paralyzing myself. I've been slowly coming out, but running out of time. So, the first thing which comes to me reading this, you're in a stress response, freezing stress response. So basically, your body cuts everything down because it cannot cope with any more pain, cannot cope with any other emotion. So the nervous system gets frozen. It doesn't feel at all. And it's really important to first of all acknowledge that and find your way of getting yourself out of that freeze response. There is a lot of somatic practices, like I could suggest tapping, for example. And there is plenty of videos on YouTube where you can do tapping corresponding with your problem itself. For example, tapping for breathing, because tapping comes with like tapping the body, but it also comes with certain phrases you say while doing that. Amazing, amazing technique, which helps to release a lot of stress. That's one of the things which on top of my head in order to dealing with the frozen, the freezing response. Jan, have you got any
Yeah,
way?
well, you already pointed to like saying your mantras or your affirmations. When you wake up, tell yourself that it's a good day. Open the window and say, and look at the world and say, okay, I might not feel so bad, but look at the beautiful world. Like here in Ireland, look at this wonderful rain and wind, and hopefully later this year, look at the beautiful sunshine and the drought. But look at the contrasts. It's of course that's also the contrast in yourself. We have the contrasting weather, but you have your hard moments, and contrast them with pleasure moments. In some cases, like opening the window and shouting out loud and with a smile on your face, "Good morning, beautiful world." And sometimes it's even fake it till you make it.
Mm,
By planting yourself in this happy spot, you're already creating a bit of space around it, and you might fall back during the day, which is completely normal. It happens to all of us, and it happens to all of us all the time. And like Luna said, from there on, find the appropriate response or find help outside, from
yeah.
outside.
Looks like Angie has got one because she says, yes, gratitude has been one of the big things to help me. And I can't stress this enough. Gratitude is just like a magic power, opening so many doors of opportunity and simply making us feel better. There is always something we can be grateful for. I start my day with naming at least five good things I'm grateful for. and I finish my day with the same practice because it puts me in a better mood. And it was super important for me when I was going through a grief and a loss of my beloved soulmate. It's been the most difficult time in my life to say goodbye to my best friend, my life's companion. And I'm talking here about a dog, my beautiful, beautiful doggy who passed away very unexpectedly and very sudden. I wasn't just ready for it. It's been a hell of a journey to me. Um, because it wasn't just a relationship between the dog and its owner. No, there was a deeper connection, and very often we have those connections with our pets, with our animals.
Mhm.
And what helped me to survive was gratitude, was not focusing on the pain and acknowledging that there is more than the pain itself.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's such a good way of expressing grief. And when like you're living together with your pet, it's just you and the pet. The Of course the relationship goes much deeper. It's much deeper, and especially pets that are so responsive to the humans. They are like humans. They are like family. And so you actually experienced losing someone important in your life, and it could be anyone, but this was the one you were living with, and that's so important. Furthermore, gratitude, the power of gratitude. uh, I use it a lot in my teachings, where I teach about the infinite possibilities, creating the life of your dreams or creating a different life. The the things you're grateful for, the universe will supply you more of these. So actively be grateful for the good things in life, the things that you like saying I'm grateful for this and internalizing it. Put the feeling out there as well, and you'll get more of these.
Mhm. We
That's how
actually have
it
a grief specialist here. I know that Richard Lee Drums, he is a grief recovery coach and he helps people to overcome grief. And he says, remember that grief is cumulative. So when we are grieving a particular loss, we are also feeling all the unprocessed losses at the same time, even though we may not be aware of it. Thank you for sharing that, Richard. That is absolutely so true. When I was going for my grief, I knew that I'm not grieving just my dog. It was so much more than this. I felt like that particular loss unplugged the big vase with some ugly and nasty stuff, and it was just going up and up and up and up. So
Yeah,
I could release that. So
yeah,
that's absolutely so true. And that's so important to realize that often we just push our emotions into a very, very dark place. And sometimes some unseen circumstances will just plug it out in order so it could come up to the surface and be healed.
yeah. I immediately recognized something of myself. 11 years ago my father died, and when your father dies, it's hard, but there was a lot to do, to organize, to take care of my to, to 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 catch my mom and everything. And I remember that I didn't cry when my father died. Then 2 years later, his brother died, and in the midst of the funeral of his brother, I broke.
Mm,
I broke, and it just went out, and I was quite sure it wasn't because of my which actually was my stepdad too. This uncle of mine, so I loved him deeply as well, but but it was the cumulative explosion of not having processed completely the death of my dad.
yeah.
And and it's, well, yeah, you'll be hit by the truck anyway. It will come. So yeah,
Absolutely. Sooner or later, like at the beginning, I pushed my feelings. I just pretended that nothing happened because I
yeah,
didn't know how to go along that.
yeah,
But
you
there
do.
was a moment when I knew that I'm ready to just face the beast and tackle it and sit with those emotions. And that's what I did.
Yeah,
And yeah. Magda says, gratitude is a great gift. I know this from my own experience. Yes, I think
Beautiful.
we
Yeah.
all can name situations in our lives that the
Yeah.
gratitude just pushed us through and helped us.
Yeah.
Not mention that, as I said, it's a super magical power. And whatever you're grateful for, the universe sees it as a welcoming, an invitation to, yes, please, I want more of that. That's
I
how I
want
see
more.
it.
Yeah. So, what's the conclusion of this? What's the conclusion of the big moments in our life that we get challenged?
Mm.
What's
To me, it would be that we all have strength, and there is a reason I'm using this particular word as a first one: strength and power to overcome obstacles. However, it is important, and it's up to us to find the right tools to deal with it. Would you agree with that?
I totally agree with that. What more I feel is that by overcoming the obstacles, by finding the power, we learn, we grow,
Mm,
we learn, we grow, we get every setback is a lesson that makes the next setback less impactful.
mm,
And I wouldn't
absolutely.
say that you'll be like untouchable or that you can't be hurt. You'll always experience it, and you can always be hurt. But yeah, it's a path of growth.
Mhm. Angie, you're welcome. You're not taking hard times. We are here to have those discussions, and we love that insight you guys share as well. It makes the discussions even more, even deeper and more rich. And Michelle says we often go into autopilot mode to get through tough situations, and it unfortunately has huge implications for us after the fact. Oh, absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely.
Yeah. And we have Angie. I'm sorry to ask something else, but can we get through fear of the unknown, including the lifting of the veil?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a good, deep question.
yeah.
What is fear? Fear is the false experience appearing real. FEAR. Fear. False experience. Uh, false
Appearing real.
appearing real. Sorry, I would have to write it down in terms of. Anyway,
Well, you came up with it. Bingo.
um, fear is a blockage. Fear is an emotion which we can overcome, like everything else. What do we fear? We fear most of the time of the unknown, of we don't know what's next, we don't know what's going to happen. That's why it affects us in a stressful way.
Yeah. It's very much related to worry, don't you think?
Definitely.
I always say we worry about things that are 99% of the cases don't happen. It's the same of the things we're afraid of, you
It's
know.
the
And
mind telling us. It's I always say about this little creature who creeps up to your shoulder and it tells you into your ear. It's
you
like
know,
it's
yeah,
scary. You don't have enough strength. You're not good enough. Blah 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 blah.
blah
This
blah
is
blah.
scary.
That's the pain
Um,
body, the ego. Yeah,
yeah, exactly,
yeah,
exactly. It's the mind playing tricks on you.
yeah,
Fear is a normal emotion, normal reaction to the unknown. It's from looking at this from the perspective of surviving. It's something which keeps us safe.
yeah,
But if we give to it too much power, we won't move forward because we will sit back, be scared,
yeah,
and just stay there
yeah, yeah,
because it's not safe to move forward.
yeah. Yeah. So we block ourselves, and what's most important, remember for yourself that you are a hero, and
Mm.
remember for yourself that the hero does not does have fear as well. The hero is afraid as well. Only thing the hero does is he faces the fear, or she faces the fear, and goes for it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for lovely comments.
Yeah.
They enrich the discussion in such a deep and lovely way. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and I hope you all enjoyed this part of the show. And before we go to the next part, we have a small intermission. Doo-doo.
Oh my god. Are we recording?
Are we recording? Yes, we are.
Okay, cool. Hi guys, welcome to Luna and the Druid, a channel where dogs bark.
And we're talking about where our producer interrupts our video all the time. Our sucky producer. Bugger off, producer.
How dare you say sucky producer?
So now you see releasing from a heavy topic is always so freeing, isn't
And
it?
I always say laughter is the medicine.
It's the medicine
if you
of
don't
the
know
hero.
what to do, do something which will make you laugh, and it will free so much of your emotions, especially stuck emotions, fear, stress. If you laugh, it just goes away.
That's it.
Yes.
Time for the big reveal, Luna.
I'm looking forward. Let me check if we have some new comments. If somebody else decided to jump last minute. Nope, I think we're ready.
Ready
Guys,
to rock and roll? Okay.
it's an exciting moment for us, and you've been waiting for it as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for participating. Thank you
Thank
for
you so
your
much.
comments. Joining our beautiful community of like-minded people who, just like ourselves, love magic.
Yeah, and we're gonna give away some magic from both of us. Luna will draw a person from the comments from her little jar that will have a reading with her, and I have the names in the hat, of course. The draw for me, the draw comes from the hat, and I will also draw a name that gets a reading from me. In the event that I draw the same name, because the same names are in both locations, we draw someone else. You can only win once.
Yes.
So that's what we say in advance. Ladies go first. Ladies go first.
Ladies first. All right.
Yes, that's right, Luna. There you are.
I'm not looking. I'm not
Drum roll.
looking. My head got stuck in a jar. There it is. I've got one.
Oh, show me.
Creative Soul Tarot. You're the winner with me. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Congratulations.
So,
Oh, we have a camera. Awesome.
we have a camera. Whoa.
Think of that.
Hoppa.
Cool.
It's here. Shuffle a little. Got the name. Georgia Evangelistu.
Congratulations. We will contact you guys through the comments, leaving the message. There it is. Yeah, it's upside down.
Yeah,
Georgia.
Georgia. Congratulations, Georgia. We'll get on our online channel or online thing. I'll turn this one off and show it in this camera. If this is you, we'll contact you. If you don't contact us on how to arrange it, we'll find a time together that fits both of us and get you your reading.
Yes, we'll contact you through the comments because we don't have your emails. We will contact the winners through the comments, and then the details we will basically discuss later in terms of how we're gonna deliver. I'm super excited. Thank you so much. This was so much fun on our side, and it was super exciting to see people joining that quest of ours.
Yeah.
We'll definitely do more of those in the future as well.
And
Yeah.
then, and of course, the good news is that this action upped our subscriber number with 20% in a week time. Woo! So thank you so much.
Thank you, because without us, we wouldn't be here either.
Yeah, with it, and no, yeah, that's it. And without them either.
Yeah.
So the
Okay.
controversy,
Mm.
the controversy. We had
Yes.
a discussion. I was with, as you know, with Luna last week, and we made the bloopers and the good videos as well, and
We
some nice
didn't make the
pictures.
bloopers. We were recording, and the bloopers just happened.
That's it. That's so true.
Right.
And
Have
then
a
we discussed, yeah, and then we discussed the tarot card of this week, and then we struck the controversy because we're at number 8 for the Fool's Journey, and there are two numbers 8, and there are also later in the pack there are two numbers 11, and they're the same cards, but sometimes the card is number 8, and sometimes the card is number 11. Um, I can show a bit of the history of how this came to be, and then we discuss what's the truth, Luna, or what's our truth, or your truth, or my truth.
If there are any tarot readers on board, please share your comments. And the question is, what is next after the Chariot? Is this the Strength card or is this the Justice card? Help
Yeah,
us to resolve this problem. We both have our um, opinion about it. We both feel that one way is right. Before we reveal it, I want to see your comments. How do you feel? Maybe afterward, Jan will share. Maybe you will be able to make your mind as well. I would love to see that in comments. In the meantime, I'll give my voice to Jan.
yes. So, uh, if we look at history, we could say number 8, the card number 8, is Justice, because this is one of the older decks. This one dates from the 1760s, but all the decks before and all the decks that came in the 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th century had Lady Justice at number 8 and Strength at number 11. Then, 115 years ago, some fella called Arthur Edward Wade created a new deck. He commissioned Pamela Coleman Smith to draw it, and he put Strength at number 8. So here was Strength 11, and here Strength is 8, and he put Justice at 11. He might have had a good reason for it. We'll talk about that later, probably, in the arguments that we have. Um, so from then on, we know it like the Marseille, which is this one, Tarot de Marseille. Inspired decks have Justice as 8, Strength at 11. In the Rider-Waite Smith inspired decks, and which are the most actually at the moment, I think 90% of what comes out is Rider-Waite Smith inspired. We have Strength at 8 and Justice at 11. One thing that's special for me is that's my own working deck, my favorite tarot deck, which was created early in the Second World War between 1938 and 1944 by Aleister Crowley and Lady Frida Harris. And he was like Edward Wade. Crowley was a member of the Golden Dawn and says, no, in the Golden Dawn, we put adjustment or justice at number 8, and we put the lion and the lady, the strength card, at the number 11. And actually, it never got resolved. So we now have to deal with the situation that when you buy a card deck, uh, do you want, does it matter to you actually? I read with both methods, so it maybe it doesn't really matter that much. Um, and what's the truth? What's the real truth?
Mm.
It remains a question.
Yes. Well, to be fair, I have decks which represent both as 8 as a strength or 8 as a justice,
Yeah,
and I always read it accordingly to what I feel from the card. Because
yeah.
sometimes there is a reason why actually I used this particular deck, that it's opposite to the way I normally read. And I read um, card number 8, Major Arcana, as strength. Why? The reason is very, very simple, because that's how I've learned to do it. When Jan asked me that question, obviously I went straight, no, number 8 is the strength. But then I started to ask myself, why? Is it that important? And the I've learned that this way was my first answer, which is the most honest as well. However, when we talk about the fool's journey and importance of lessons, what the fool can learn from the strength, overcoming obstacles. This is just a very, very shortcut with the overcoming obstacles. What fools learn from the justice is that consequences or choices and decisions have consequences. And now the question is, which lesson should we learn first? Does it have a meaning? Does it is one lesson more important than the other one? How do you feel about that, Jan?
Um, no, they're both equally important. I'd say they're both from the card 7 to 14. So they're we from 1 to 7 we're very personal, and then we go conceptually deeper, and so they're both in the same bracket. So I think they're equally important. I know, and maybe you haven't touched that idea, but I know why Mr. Wade changed it, and he had a very good reason for it.
Okay, let's reveal it. We both
Yeah,
know it, but
yeah,
let's
yeah.
reveal it.
You want to reveal it? Yeah, okay.
No, go for it.
Um, yeah, it has to do with astrology. The strength card is related to Leo, and of course, with the scales, the justice card is related to Libra. And strength card Leo we have in August, and Libra we have in October. And what comes in between, that's card number 9, that's the Hermit, and that's Virgo. So when you put strength first, then Virgo, then Libra, as as Mr. Wade did uh, accordingly, we said, yes, that's the right way to do it. And why did Mr. Crowley say not to do it anymore? He says, yeah, but historically, justice and force have these numbers. So he was right in that perspective. And if you look at uh, a bit deeper than just astrological correspondences, but especially correspondences according to the Tree of Life and the Kabbalah and the the numbering of the Hebrew letters, for instance, which are very important in Crowley's deck, then the reverse makes sense again, and even you can, when you put them in line, you create an eight with three with three holes. So there's a bit of a deeper meaning of it. Essentially, when you do a tarot reading with someone, it really doesn't matter.
It really doesn't.
Number
That's
doesn't matter at all. And I use them between each other. We have much more problems, for instance, with the court cards, where Crowley brings in princesses instead of pages, and he crowns the kings into knights, and the knights into princes. And just the only stable factor in there is the queen. So it really does not matter that much when you work a lot with numerology in your readings. Yeah, it can be of influence, but yeah, don't get too much carried away with it, and learn to work with both methods.
yes, but it
Hey,
doesn't
we
bring a
switched places.
solution. Yeah, it doesn't bring the solution to the question, which card are we going to talk about next, the strength or the
Yeah,
justice?
yeah.
And we had a really long discussion about it, and a really long battle. Um, which we haven't actually decided which card will be the next one we're going to talk about,
Yeah.
which is funny. But the main conclusion is that it really doesn't matter. It's all symbols. It's all intuitive meaning. Our producer just woke up.
Okay. Hello, producer.
I'm being smart, and I brought her
Yeah.
something which she should go for. We'll see. If
Yeah.
not, you'll hear her barking again at the end of the day. The Luna and the Druid is the channel where dogs bark.
That's it. And where the dog is actually the producer of the show.
Yeah, that's correct. That's
So,
correct.
in all honesty, it doesn't really matter. Seeing that the majority of the decks are rider weight based, and the Marseille and the toss. Well, the Marseille is a niche. The toss is also a big niche, very strong masculine, uh, masculine deck. So it's very appropriate that I, as a masculine man, use it as my priority deck. But I'm more than happy to go with strength, especially in light of the topic of today. It
Mm,
aligns much more strength and overcoming adversity and managing stuff, fighting the lion within.
I won.
Look at her.
Well, we
Uh,
always say with Jan that I see myself more of a somebody which I call a modern witch, which
yeah,
doesn't go so deep into the history of stuff. And Jan, obviously being the druid, he's the one who has those strong roots. But intuition doesn't always have to go that deep in terms of the roots. Sometimes it has to go up and look for the answer. But it's amazing how, and it always makes me happy actually, because the how many tarot readers will be there will be different meanings and different aspects and different way of viewing
that's it.
the topic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super.
Yes. So
Sorted.
congratulations to our winners. That would be me as well, because the
There's
next
three winners today.
part, yes. Yeah, we have to do the giveaway more often because it puts me in a great mood. I have to say, it feels amazing.
Good.
And it
That's
feels
good.
amazing to do something for you guys, for our
Yeah.
viewers, as a thank you and as our way of expressing. It's not like sharing our wisdom wouldn't be enough, would it?
Yeah, and it's sharing itself is already beautiful.
Yes, sharing
Yeah.
is caring, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But we slowly come to the end of our today's episode.
Yeah.
Um, uh-huh. I can see the movement there.
I contacted the lady who created this deck, the Maria Tarot, and
Mm,
she kind of agreed to do an interview with me in one of the coming episodes. So let's just pull some inspiration for the next week.
yeah, brilliant. Lovely idea. And while Jan is shuffling, I will just say thank you for wonderful comments. We have a lot of thank yous here. Congratulations from Magda. Angie says, I love you guys. This is awesome. It was super fun to watch. The blooper was super fun. It was indeed. Like, I couldn't stop laughing when I rewatched them. That's so true. And Inner Being says, thank you so much. Magda says, congratulations all. I hope I didn't miss any comments. If I did, apologies.
Yeah, let's do two cards and see if we can tie them together into something of a story.
Mm.
Oh, there they are. There they are. Oh, here's the tarot deck. Here's the cards we used in the presentation.
You're welcome, Michelle. Okay, we can see perfectly on the screen.
Ooh,
Wow, what an amazing deck.
yeah. So what do we have? We have this week. This week You're inspired by the Knight of Discs, and the Knight of Discs is like our doggy, our producer. He's the CEO. He runs the show, as you can see. He's very, very earthy, but also very fiery, which you can see in the colors. But the knights themselves are fire, and the discs are earth. So it's about creating a bit of solidity for yourself, seeing yourself protected by the mountains that keep you out of the wind. The mountains can also be other persons, the knights of discs in your life, the ones that keep you safe, that keep you out of the wind, the ones that are reliable and trustworthy. And what does the Knight of Discs do this week? He's inspired by the Six of Swords, which in the TOS-based text, which is called the Lord of Science. So it's the rational mind that rules today. The rational mind that rules today. So a solid, rational feeling uh, is presenting itself to you to the coming week. A solid, rational feeling, and the preparations you're making when you carry the Six of Swords is for a journey. And the journey in the Six of Swords takes you over water. And us, living in Ireland, every journey abroad takes us over water. So that's a good one, even if it's one of a flight. But the last time I drew it for a client, he says, "Yes, I'm going on the ferry next week." So solid, rational mind. Uh, it's an energy. If it doesn't come to you, just think of the of is it true? Is it really true? Is it really, really true what I'm thinking right now? That's what the cards for this week reveal.
Thank you for that, Jan.
You're
That's
welcome.
amazing.
You're welcome.
Yes.
And that, dear viewers, brings us to the end of the show. And we go out with a bang, don't we? Back to Luna
And the Druid.
and Karma, our producer. Yes. Um, Good to see you back again. Have you subscribed yet?
Yes. I don't know what to say.
She doesn't know what to say. It never happens. This is the first time in my life that you have nothing to say.
Something tells me
Oh, it was so
this now.
the one, the one with the last laugh laughs the best.
That is so true. For those who know me, they know it's true. I barely have nothing to say. So, yeah. And with that said,
Thank you all. Hopefully, see you next week for a new episode of.
Luna and the Druids.
And that's it. Bye, everybody.
Much love. Bye.